Hi guys, welcome! The first season of 6v6 team competition for ROMC will officially start this Saturday, and in this video we'll dive into the recommended classes for this PvP mode to help strengthen your team composition. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. First up, we have the Archbishop, which is undoubtedly the best full support class in ROMC. They can heal, resurrect, give valuable buffs, and clear debuffs on allies, which are all essential in 6v6 battles. Archbishops are primarily built as tanks, so they can hold orbs and chess pieces for a long time without dying easily. They mainly assist teammates from a safe distance while spamming Cure Elation, Light Shield, and Safety Wall to protect against physical damage. Their Fate Break skill is a game changer that can be cast either on the tank to help them safely collect the white orb or on the squishiest damage dealer to allow them to survive longer while they wreak havoc on enemies. Their master skill Holy Light Blow changes their auto attack into a healing and Fate Break skill when using a 1-type weapon. In addition, they can debuff incoming opponents with Deny to inflict silence and Lexivina with Word Style to increase the enemy's cast time. A team with a skilled Archbishop would be much harder to kill, making them a staple in any PvP party. Second, we have the Royal Guard, which is the best frontliner and primary orb holder due to their massive survivability. They have innately large HP pool and high defensive stats, which can help soak up a ton of damage. Their kit includes several defensive skills that not only reduce incoming damage, but also offer protection to their allies. This includes Fearless, which is strong against crit-based DPS classes, King's Guardian, Providence, and Divine Protection for reducing damage from various elements, and Piety, which converts the armor into Holy Element for both Royal Guard and an ally. Their Devotion skill is a lifesaver as it links them to an ally and transfers all damage taken by that ally to themselves, keeping squishy teammates alive. For additional team-wide support, they have Battle Chant for healing, Command of Charge for boosting mobility, and Selfless Shield for reducing damage taken. Despite their tank role, Royal Guards can also deal serious damage with Earth Drive, Sacrifice, or the Instant Slash Master skill, which deals high burst damage based on their Overbrand skill. This makes Royal Guards one of the best melee classes in PvP as they are not just tanks, they can also dish out massive damage. Next up, we have the Sorcerer, which deals significant magic damage and has great utility. Sorcerers deal insane amounts of magic damage to a single target using auto attacks which trigger auto spell and magic fist. They primarily deal wind damage with Lightning Bolt since they can convert the enemy's armor into water element using the set effect of Tier 6 Silk Robe and Tier 6 Tidal Shoes. Unlike Warlock, Sorcerers don't need Ignore Death because their Mental Agitation passive reduces enemies' magic defense every time they attack, making them easier to scale in the early game. At the same time, they offer game-changing support skills like Earth Field for nullifying ground-based skills like Meteor Storm and Hellplant, Fog Wall for increasing the chance to evade physical attacks, and Warm Breeze for healing teammates. Their Empowerment Master skill grants stats to nearby allies and increases the chance to trigger Autospell. They can also disrupt enemies with skills like Remove Buff, which dispels enemies' buffs, Spellbreaker, which extends enemies' casting time, and Soul Siphon, which steals SP from an enemy, draining them completely in some cases. A veteran sorcerer that has good positioning and skill casting management will truly be a nightmare for the opposing team. Next up, we have the Genetic, which deals good amount of damage with their Homunculus and has great utility as well. They can switch builds using Emir's Notebook, focusing on magic attack for Vanil Mirth damage before switching to a tanky build for survival. Their improved Acid Demonstration skill scales with the enemy's fit and has a chance to destroy the enemy's gears, weakening the enemy tanks and supports. They can control the battlefield by summoning Hell Plants or their Hell Tree Master skill, which deals damage to nearby enemies and buffs the damage of allied homunculi and Hell Plants. Genetics can also cast Crazy Weed to remove the enemy's ground-based skills such as Ranger's Traps, Warlock's Storm Gust and Meteor Storm, and even Sorcerer's Earth Field. In addition, Genetics can prolong the enemy's cast time using Mandragora Howling, restrain the mobility of enemies by placing Thorn's Trap, and grant protection against gear destruction by activating Chemical Protection. Genetics' massive burst damage, armor breaking capability, and extreme utility make them a top-tier pick in PvP. Next up, we have the Shadow Chaser, which is one of the most disruptive and versatile classes in ROMC. They specialize in dealing surprise burst damage, stripping, and disabling enemies. With high mobility while being invisible to enemies, they can position behind enemy lines and execute sneaky attacks. Their chain shooting master skill greatly improves the power of triangle shot, allowing them to deal bigger damage and even has a chance to strip the gears of enemies, making them weaker and squishier. They can also trap high priority targets in place with manhole or close confine, or teleport and isolate them anywhere on the map using Intimidate. Shadow Chaser's ability to annoy and disrupt enemy formations make them a must-have in any PvP team. As for the final slot, it can be quite flexible. Physical classes that have critical auto-attack builds such as Ranger, Rune Knight, or Guillotine Cross work well because critical-based builds don't rely on hit and ignore def stats, making them easier to build than other skill-based physical DPS in the early game. Among these, ADL Rangers shine the most in the early game as they can consistently deal high critical damage from a safe distance and can move around quickly, making it hard for melee opponents to track them down. They can also place traps that can slow down and control enemies, setting up easy kills for the team. Since Rangers are built as glass cannons, they require babysitting by their Archbishop and Royal Guard. They must use their Lightning Arrow and Tracking Prey skills to prevent sneaky attacks from hiding enemies. As for Rune Knights and Guillotine Crosses, the critical auto-attack builds require more effort and investment before they can truly dominate in PvP. Furthermore, since they are melee classes, their playstyle has a higher skill floor compared to Rangers. And there you have it, this is my 6v6 lineup suggestion based on popular classes from the Chinese Zenny-only server. Of course, these are just recommendations, and whether your class was mentioned or not, don't worry, it is still very early game, and the meta is always evolving. Regardless of your experience in ROM's PvP, I encourage you guys to participate in the competitive scene, not just because it's full of fun and excitement, but also because it offers rich rewards, making it worth your time. Alright, that's it for this video guys, don't forget to like if you enjoyed watching this guide. If you're new here, I would love you to consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below. I would love to have you back. Thank you for watching and see you in our next episode.